What you need to do is ask yourself this. If you took money off the table, if you didn't give a shit what anybody else thought, what's the thing you would love to be doing with your life? What do you really want? Now, I'm not talking about something small. I'm not talking about a little haiku. I'm not talking about renovating your kitchen. I'm not talking about signing on 10 new customers this month. I'm talking about what you really want. Be honest with yourself. What is it that you would want to do with your life if you didn't have to pay the bills doing it?
Number one thing is you have to have a very clear vision, a very clear goal of where you want to go. Because only then you will get there. You can have the best airplane or the best ship in the world, but if the captain doesn't know where to go, he will just drift around. If the pilot does not know where to go, he will just drift around with his plane. So I think the key thing is that we know where we're going and that you're very passionate about that, and that you see it always in front of you, the goal. And the other thing that's important is that you got to shoot for the top. You got to go and really have big goals and think big, because then you're going to get big. Then you're going to go and achieve big things. That is the most important thing. We don't achieve big things by accident. So shoot for the top, shoot for the sky, shoot for the, for the stars.
If you know exactly what it is you really want, what you desire, what you're really after, clarity is power. The more clear you are on specifically what you want, the faster your brain can get you there. But if you're generally saying things like, what do I want? Well, I want more money. Fine, here's $1, get out of here. Did you achieve the outcome? Yeah, when you're that general, you think you're not getting your goal, you are. The way you language your goal, the way you think about it, you're receiving it. I want to feel a bit better. I want to lose some weight. Fine, you lost a pound, you're done.
You're playing the game of poker. If you take all your chips and you push them in the middle of the table, what does that mean? A player on the team at the time named Justin Tuck was there. I remember he smiled. He was sitting in the back room. He said, well, if you push all your chips in the middle of the table, it means you're all in, you're ready to win, you're done going halfway. I said, okay. But what would happen if everyone shows their cards, but then you pull your chips back and you tell everyone you were just kidding? I remember he smiled even wider and said, well, if you're playing poker at my house, that's how you get punched in the face. I said, Justin, you're right. So if we would never do it in a game of poker, why do we do it with our lives? Why do we say we're going to be committed to something when things get tough, when the unexpected happens, we back away and say, it's not for me?
Most of you are not doing what you want to do with your life because you're worried about somebody else's opinion. There is way too many people in this room right now that are doing stuff they hate. Please stop doing that. Promise me you won't.
Don't listen to the naysayers, because there's always people out there that will tell you that you will not be able to do that, forget it, it's a stupid dream that you have, or a crazy vision. Don't listen to the naysayers. The other thing is that you got to work your butt off. If you think that you're going to go and accomplish something really special and be the best in anything in the world, and you think you can do it without working, you make a big mistake. Because no matter what I did, if it was in bodybuilding or in acting or if it is in the political arena, it always took a lot of work. And you got to put out, and you got to, sometimes make a lot of sacrifices in order. If you're not willing to work hard, forget about it. So there's another rule that is very important.
You could say, well, I'm not willing to put in the effort because what if I fail? Well, first of all, if you don't put in the effort, you will fail because life is hard and it takes everything out of you to do it properly. Because the question is, if you want something, what does it mean to want it? And what it means is to sacrifice whatever is necessary to get it, because otherwise you don't want it. And so there's an equation here, and I'm not claiming its ultimate accuracy, but the equation is something like, you don't want it unless you're willing to sacrifice for it.
Look, in life, it's going to be very easy for you to blame everybody. Very easy for you to blame everybody. You can blame everybody else, but there's one person that's going to know that you didn't take responsibility, and that's you. That's a tough one to live with.
I didn't get a new daddy. I didn't get a new mama. What changed? I changed. And I stopped being a victim. I stopped saying I've got to wait for good things to happen to me. And I said, I'm going to grind. I'm going to fight. I'm going to work. I'm going to press toward. I'm going to learn. I'm going to do everything in my power every single day. I'm going to do everything in my power to become a victor and not a victim.
It's take no less than 100% responsibility for your life. You know, one of the greatest myths that's pervasive in our culture today is that you're entitled to a great life and that somehow, somewhere, someone is responsible for filling our lives with continual happiness and exciting career options, a nurturing family and blissful personal relationships simply because we exist. But the real truth is that there's only one person responsible for the quality of your life, and that person is you.
In life, we're all born with either an advantage or disadvantage. We either started with too much or we started with too little, and then basically, you know, your internal fortitude decides if that was good or bad. I've sat with people that have $10 million in their trust fund crying, saying that they hate their lives because their parents took care of everything and they'll never achieve anything on their own, and no matter what they achieve, everybody's going to say it wasn't them, and they think it's the worst, and they're suicidal. This is real. To be very honest with you, I'll give you the answer. You have no choice. What's the alternative? When you have a setback, what are you going to sit there and say it was your granddad and your dad? I mean, you know that's not true. It's why you have so many wins.
You see, you only have three things that you can control in your life: the thoughts you think, the images you visualize, and the actions you take. And how you use those three things determines everything you experience. So if you don't like what you're experiencing and what you're producing as results in your life, you have to change your mental, your visual, and your behavioral responses to the events that occur in your life.
It does not matter where you come from. I have seen people come out of the desert, walk across the desert, being born in the most dire of circumstances. Doesn't matter what your mama did, whether she did or had a PhD or no D. What matters is now, this moment, and your willingness to see this moment for what it is, accept it, forgive the past, take responsibility, and move forward.
See, that's the difference in how your life works out. It's not what happens, it's what you do. So here's one of the key questions of the evening. Starting tomorrow, what are you going to do that'll make a change in your life's direction? Now see, if you don't do something starting tomorrow that'll make a difference, guess what? It's gonna be the same. And see, that way you can guess what the next 5 years are gonna be like. Look at the last 5. Because the next 5 are going to be like the last 5 unless you, major key, tomorrow, change it all.
Successful people take full responsibility for the thoughts they think, the images they visualize, and the actions they take. They don't waste their time and energy on blaming and complaining. They evaluate their experiences and decide if they need to change them or not. They face the uncomfortable, and they take risks in order to create the life that they want to live.
And the brilliant insight that changes everything for people is realizing that responsibility is never given, it's taken. And that if you choose to take responsibility, all these doors open up and you get a totally different life in exchange.
Next time you have a loss, next time you have a breakup, next time something happens that hurts, truly hurts, instead of blaming the world, take a piece of paper and take responsibility and say, what did I learn from this? What can I do better? What bad habits do I have that keep showing up? What bad trends do I have that keep showing up? And I'm going to make a decision to stop it now and not blaming everybody. And if you decide to do that, don't be surprised when your life changes drastically in a positive way.
We are busier than any other generation we have seen in the last 300 to 400 years. We are just as busy as we can be, and we think because we're busy, we're effective. But I want you to challenge your schedule for a minute and ask yourself, are you really being effective? Or is your life cluttered with all kinds of stuff that demands you and drains you and taxes you and stops you from being your highest and best self? And are you substituting busyness and all the chaos that goes along with busyness from being effective?